Why do some countries grow rapidly, while others remain stuck in crises for decades? Why does Silicon Valley produce billion-dollar startups, while resource-dependent economies struggle? The answer isn't in technology or even money. It's in institutions, the rules that determine a society's success. Welcome to Lesson 2 of our comprehensive macroeconomics course. In this video, we'll explore the different types of institutions, how they work, and why they are critically important for your life. At the end of the video, you'll be able to download the full lesson PDF, complete with diagrams, explanations, and key ideas. Let's get started. What are institutions? Imagine you're playing soccer, but nobody agreed on the rules. Someone picks up the ball with their hands, another says you can score as many times in a row as you want. Total chaos. That's what an economy without institutions would look like. Institutions aren't buildings or organizations. They're the rules and mechanisms that shape how people and organizations interact. The famous economist Douglas North called institutions the rules of the game in a society, and organizations, they're the players that operate under those rules. Examples. An institution is a constitution that defines the separation of powers. An organization is the parliament or government that functions within that framework. An institution is the right to private property. An organization is a company or a bank that makes use of that right. Institutions can be formal, like laws, contracts, regulations, or informal, like cultural norms, traditions, or the level of trust in society. Why does this matter? Because even the most advanced technology or the biggest investments can fail if institutions are weak. And remember, institutions never exist in a vacuum. They always operate within a specific economic system. So, let's take a look at what kinds of systems there are. Economic systems. An economic system is the way a society organizes its economic life. It answers three key questions: what to produce, how to produce it, and for whom to produce. Sounds simple, right? But the answers to these three questions determine people's well-being. How would you answer them? In reality, pure economic systems almost never exist. Most countries mix different approaches, but to really see the differences, let's look at both the classical and the modern classifications of these systems. The classic typology highlights four main systems. 1. Traditional economy, based on customs and traditions. Imagine a community where everything is done the same way ancestors did it. Pros: stability and preservation of culture. Cons: low productivity and lack of innovation. Second, command economy, where the state makes all the decisions. Imagine you're a farmer, but the government tells you, you only grow wheat, and only this much. Pros: rapid mobilization of resources. Cons: shortages and no incentives. 3. Market economy, where businesses and consumers make the decisions, and prices are set by supply and demand. Think of America in the 1950s. A startup boom, competition between companies, fighting for the customer. That's a classic market economy. Pros: competition, innovation, efficiency. Cons: inequality, monopolies, crises. 4. Mixed economy, a balance between the market and government regulation. Pros: market freedom plus social protection. Cons: bureaucracy and complexity of management. But modern classifications are more realistic. They recognize 6 different models, because today's economies are far more complex than just state versus market. And these systems aren't theory. They actually exist in the world today. Let's take a look. 1. Liberal market economies. Examples, the US and the UK. Picture Silicon Valley. Startups growing from garages into billion-dollar companies. Here, the market is flexible, and the state doesn't intervene too much. Pros: innovation and entrepreneurship thrive. Cons: inequality and economic instability can become major problems. 2. Coordinated market economies. Germany and Sweden. Think of a factory where unions, management, and the state work together to plan the industry's development. Pros: stability and strong social protection. Cons: change happens more slowly. Third, state capitalism, China and Singapore. These are countries where the government itself creates tech giants and strategically invests in critical industries. Pros: rapid scaling and modernization. Cons: limited competition and risk of corruption. 4. Dependent economies, Eastern Europe and Latin America. These countries rely on foreign investment and are deeply integrated into global supply chains. Pros: access to markets. Cons: global crises hit them hard. 5. Informal or shadow economies. For example, some African countries. Here, most transactions happen outside official rules. Pros: flexibility and quick adaptation. Cons: instability and weak state institutions. 6. Hybrid models. Examples: Turkey and India. These countries mix state regulation, markets, and informal rules all at once. Pros: adaptability to change. Cons: conflicting and unstable rules of the game. So, an economic system isn't just a table in a textbook. It's a living organism where every model has its strengths and weaknesses. Now, think about this. Which system do the institutions in your country operate under? And remember, within every system, institutions work on multiple levels, from the Constitution to the internal rules of a company. Let's break down these levels in more detail.
Institutions operate on 3 levels at once. 1. Macro level, the Constitution, courts, the central bank. This is the foundation. 2nd, meso level, industry rules, associations, trade unions, the middle layer. 3. Micro level, the internal rules of companies and corporate culture. This is everyday practice. But it's not only about which level an institution operates on, it's also about its quality. Economists Darren Acemoglu and James Robinson, in their book Why Nations Fail, identify 2 types of institutions. Inclusive institutions: they open access to resources and opportunities for the majority, encouraging growth and trust. These are societies where anyone can start a business, get an education, and influence decisions. Extractive institutions: they concentrate resources in the hands of a narrow elite, shutting out the rest. These are societies where power and wealth belong to a few families, while everyone else works for them. This distinction determines which societies create innovation, and which get stuck in stagnation. Now, let's see how this plays out in the modern world through real trends and case studies. Today, institutions are transforming right before our eyes, and we can see their impact in concrete examples. 1. Industrial Policy 2.0. The state actively supports strategic industries to build national tech leaders. Example: the CHIPS Act in the US, a law designed to boost domestic semiconductor production and reduce reliance on imports. But of course, there's always the risk of lobbying. 2. Digital public infrastructure. Every citizen can prove their identity and access financial services with just one click. Example: India's Aadhaar and UPI, a digital ID and payment system giving millions of people instant access to finance while cutting transaction costs. 3. Regulating digital platforms. Imagine online platforms where the rules are the same for everyone and monopolies are kept in check. Example: the Digital Markets Act and Digital Services Act in the EU, laws that regulate big tech platforms, limit monopolies, and ensure fair conditions for businesses. Impact: more competition and a level playing field. 4. State Capitalism 2.0. Countries that build national tech champions and scale them fast. Example: China's strategy of creating and supporting national technology leaders. Pros: rapid scaling. Risks: limited competition. 5. Anti-corruption institutions. Imagine government tenders that are fully transparent and open to everyone. Example: Prozoro in Ukraine, an electronic public procurement system that makes tenders transparent and saves billions in public funds. Impact: billions saved and reduced corruption. So, institutions aren't just an abstraction. They're concrete practices shaping the economy today and directly affecting our lives. How to analyze institutions yourself. Want to check if an institution actually works? Let's use a simple checklist. What rule is in place? Who is responsible for enforcement? What are the penalties for violations? What incentives exist for participants? Is there data on effectiveness? Is the institution sustainable over time? A good institution is simple, transparent, fair, and reliably enforced. But even with the tools to analyze institutions, it's easy to fall into common myths. Let's go over a few. Myths about institutions. Let's play a game. Have you heard these statements? Passing a law is enough. It will all work. In reality, a law without enforcement is just paper. Markets will solve everything on their own. Without rules, markets create monopolies and crises. Digitalization automatically reduces corruption. Tools help, but the key factor is people. AI will completely replace humans. Artificial intelligence changes roles. It doesn't remove them. See, institutions aren't an abstract theory. They're a reality shaping our daily lives. Now, let's summarize and draw conclusions. Institutions are the invisible infrastructure of the economy. They determine whether businesses thrive, whether innovations get support, and whether society moves forward. Where institutions are strong, the economy is dynamic, competitive, and resilient. Where institutions are weak, the economy stalls, even if there are resources or talent available. As promised, below this video you'll find a link to a free PDF lesson summary with diagrams, explanations, and key ideas. If you found this useful, please support our channel in any convenient way, with a like, donation, or subscription. In the next lesson, we'll explore institutional economics, the role of the state, and institutional quality. See you in the next lessons.